Hello and welcome to another video helping you with lockdown injuries. So today we're going to look at hamstrings. Hamstrings are the muscles behind your thigh. You have 3 on each leg and we tend to group them together and treat them as one muscle. So we generally see 2 types of injuries with hamstrings. We either see a mild strain, which causes discomfort with walking, running, and can lead to aches and stiffness overnight. Or we see a full tear or a full rupture, which can mean you can't walk on the leg. It's very painful all the time. In the clinic, we generally see the first type brought on from overstretching, overexercise, sometimes trauma from the muscle, like if you fall over or if you're playing rugby or football. It's common in sports where you have to accelerate quickly, so football, basketball, racket sports, running, all that kind of thing. I have seen a full rupture once in a runner. I was working at a marathon event a few years ago, and girl hobbled into the tent, collapsed onto the couch, was incredibly swollen. It looked awful. She was in a lot of agony. She had one of those skins on, and it looked like she'd got a child's arm there on that skin. When that happens, we can't do very much. So we would normally refer to a GP, or in that particular instance, to the St. John's ambulance. And there's not a huge amount we can do until the swelling has gone down and it started to repair itself. But hopefully you haven't suffered with anything like that. So we're just looking at hamstring problems that you get during lockdown are going to be mostly mild strains coming from overexercise, or for overstretching, or maybe not warming up properly. And these are a bit easier to deal with online. So firstly, if there's any swelling around the muscle, we want you to rest and ice, and that will help to take the swelling down. But if there's no swelling, but it still hurts, then we're going to look at stretches and other bits and pieces. So firstly, if we look at the first stretch, so as you can see, the guy's laying down, leaning forward, pulling on the top of your toe and pulling that towards yourself. That'll help to stretch. That will also help to stretch the calf, which is really good, but it will stretch a hamstring quite nicely. Secondly, pulling the leg up in front. We do this in both legs, obviously, and pulling towards you, not too far. If you've damaged the leg, we only want to go to the point that you can't feel pain. So we're going to go. You may not be able to go as far as the scale's managing. So we're going to try and stretch that up to the point that you can cope with it. Hold the stretch for 20 seconds and then flip to the other leg, and do that about 3 times, 2 or 3 times a day. Finally, we're going to look at how you'd stretch on a chair. So you often see people stretching by putting their foot on top of a desk or high up. That's great if you're just generally stretching, but if you've got damage to anything, we want to look at something a little bit more supported. So we're going to stretch here. So leg out in front of you, and then basically we're pushing the knee down very gently to cause a stretch on the hamstring underneath, and that should help to stretch that a little bit, and we did that both sides. It's important that you keep your back straight, so we're stretching the hamstring and we're not putting any damage on the lower back. Okay, so normally when we rehab a hamstring injury even, we would recommend pool jogging or in a swimming pool. Obviously that's not possible at the moment unless you've got your own pool. So we're going to look at a series of active knee extensions, which will help seated while you're going through your rehab, and this will help to strengthen the quads and activate the hamstrings a little bit. So there we go. So this is basically what we're doing: sitting down, lifting the leg up, and we're bending at the knee very gently and then straightening it. Okay, so all this is done very slowly. We're not looking at jerking. We're gradually straightening the knee and then gradually releasing the knee and bending slightly. So that will help with the quads here. It will also help stretch the hamstrings and strengthen this whole area. And we recommend 3 sets of 15 of those twice a day. And that will help to strengthen the whole area and gradually bring things back. Okay, so that's about it for hamstrings. If you've got any more problems or if you think that's not enough, drop me a message. We can organise a more in-depth consultation and we can talk about your specific problems. Okay, thank you for watching.